Hey everyone, not long ago we made a video on this Gevi 20 espresso machine that I picked up for $160 on Amazon. It had some weird features of negligible benefit, some of which were probably detrimental. The aesthetic qualities of the machine and the dimensions proved to be very nice. Front and center is the pressure gauge that has no usable values on it, but for $160 it'll look very nice in your kitchen. It's designed to be a pressurized system, as you see with this portafilter. Double-walled 51mm pressurized filter, good for beginners, but never going to be great for anything. So after an unboxing and cleaning and filling with water and finding the spoon supplied was inaccurate, a scale was used for a controlled test of 14 grams, which is what was specified, but almost impossible to get into this filter without making a mess because it seemed really small for 14 grams. With a hard tampering, it was only about a millimeter or so from the top. But we kept with it, following the instructions, and ended up producing something that looked more like Guinness than it did espresso, repeated multiple times and producing the same result. The milk frother was the only part that worked exceptionally. Overall, the coffee combined with the milk making a cappuccino was mediocre. Let's see if we could fix this hot mess. Literally. We run the same parameters as last video, 14 grams, same grind and the double filter, but this time we have a funnel. This will no doubt make preparation easier. This funnel also came with a stainless steel mesh screen that we don't really need for our testing, but we'll place the funnel on the portafilter now. And since easier preparation leads to better consistency, making it easier for us to do this might in fact actually help the quality of coffee. We'll find out, but definitely we're able to spoon all this in now without the coffee grinds going everywhere. No doubt about that. Spinning the grounds for even distribution is out of the question for this portafilter because of its design. Instead, we'll be using a needle distribution tool, and this was picked up for about $5. There's some extra needles that came with it, an instruction manual, and here's the set. It also has a built-in holder, which keeps it protected when not in use. The needles break up the clumps for more even distribution. You could see that it also settles down the coffee grinds at the same time, but the breaking up of the clumps might be of negligible benefit to a pressurized basket. Either way, it can hurt. Put this away before I break it. And I want to make sure that the tamper is not impeded by the funnel. This is the crappy tamper that comes with the coffee machine, and we can see that it does in fact fit. So I just want to see if I can push it down and tamp it while the funnel's on there, which I do. But as I remove the funnel, I come to find that this particular design leaves a gap, and we could see that there are grinds that were in between the funnel and the filter. So if I push them in, now we have more grinds on the outer surface than we do in the middle, which is not ideal. And as I tamp it down again, just because I kind of have to now, I realize that there's a problem here. I didn't notice this before because I only used this crappy tamper on this machine like 3 times because I have my own good one. But if we take a look, we'll see, let me clean this off first, that there's still grounds on the sidewalls of the filter even though I've been tamping it. So I'll get my tamper out. Same size, purportedly, push down. And now the sidewalls are clean. Close-up view. Yeah, look at that. Mine fits. But if mine fits, how big is the tamper on this one? This is like 2 millimeters too small. This isn't 51 millimeters. This is like 49 millimeters. You gotta be kidding me. How do they not give you the right size tamper with the coffee machine? I can't make this up. So we're tamped. Let's give it a go. Drop it in the machine. Lock it down. And with the same measuring cup used in the last video, we'll hit the double shot button for comparison. I'll speed this up though. Yeah, pressure's still the same. Output still looks like Guinness. It looks identical to the other runs that I've done. No difference at all. Resting at 8 times the speed, and there we go. Milk frothing again is a non-issue on this machine. I'm just going to skip right past it. Results exactly the same as every other batch, but now it was just a lot easier to make. Let's continue. We'll take a look at the grinds. And yeah, they're consistent. They look exactly the same as they did before. So at least we have consistency. Armed with the knowledge about the tamper issue as well as this funnel not sitting perfectly, I'm going to make a slight adjustment in the technique here. We're going to use the needles here to settle it down. Remove the funnel and just try and bring everything a little bit off the edge before we do anything else. Not ideal, I get it, but we're working with what we got. And now I'll use my tamper, which fits. Clean everything off. And because I know people will ask, we're going to drop the screen on. We're not going to see any improvement as a result of it, but just because we have it, there we go. Load them up. And we'll run it, see if we get any change out of this. I'm going to speed it up. Nobody wants to see the same coffee brewing over and over again, but you can see right now, it's looking exactly the same. No change at all. Steamed the milk, made the cappuccino, tasted the same. We'll take a quick look at the puck because we put the screen in just to see if there's any change. But if we want this coffee machine to improve, we're going to have to take it in another direction. We could see the puck looks about the same, except we could see some detent from the screen. Let's try something entirely different. The primary problem with this design is the filter itself. We could see all of that comes out one little tiny hole. It's pressurized. Very forgiving, but not very good. Instead, we'll be going with a non-pressurized setup. This one I picked up on Amazon for about $30 and works with the Gevi 20. I'll point out that this one is a bottomless one. It doesn't have a spout on the bottom, and that means it could make a mess, which means you need a taller cup. I can't use my small measuring cup for this one, and that's just fine. I just wanted to point that out. I take a moment to inspect it in the light and make sure none of the holes are plugged, that everything is uniform, and then I wash it with hot soapy water. Checked its fitment in the machine, and if it feels like it fits good, I ran 2 cups of just water through it and make sure that the seal was good and didn't leak. Now you're going to need a scale for this one because the spoon was worthless anyway, and now you're going off the manufacturer of the portafilter. And they recommend 18 grams, and that's like a starting point. Obviously we're going to adjust from there, but that's what we're going to work with. As expected, my funnel fits equally as poorly on this portafilter as it did on the last, but we'll spoon in those 18 grams. Using the needles to break up clumps is now significant on a non-pressurized system. Its effect was trivial on the old portafilter. Now this was just a test. I wanted to see if this would work through the funnel. I didn't think it would, and it didn't because it gets caught in the funnel. But I just wanted to try it, and we run into the same issue. So I tried it out on camera, and it just didn't fit. So now I'm moving all of those grinds to the center and respinning it again to distribute them evenly. And that worked. So now I'm tampering with my tamper, which I'll be using going forward since theirs is not even the right size. Clean it up, and we'll put the screen on top and place it into the machine. And for better or worse, after 2 videos, we should finally see a different result. I'll point out again, because of this design, I don't want to make a mess, so I'm going to be using a taller cup. So I'm going to use this glass right here, put it under the machine. If I use my measuring cup without a stand over here, it could splash everywhere and make a mess, and I don't want to make a mess right now. I'm going to be monitoring the gauge, what comes out of the filter and into the cup, and trying to look at all 3 at the same time on camera is going to be difficult, so I'm going to do the best I can. Here we go. Since this is a first run, there'll be no editing, so sorry about the camera work. That was pre-infusion, and here we go. So at least as far as the video recorded, the pressure climb was good, and the pressure range stayed within the blue, and I was looking more at the coffee than the pressure, so I didn't capture that. But it appeared to be looking a lot better than it did with the other portafilter, but started to break up towards the end. So it could have been preparation or the amount of coffee grinds or both. But I think that beep that we heard was a high pressure alarm or something. So we definitely got something to change. But even at its worst, alarms and all, it's looking 10 times better than anything we've had so far. It needs work, but it is the best tasting espresso that we've pulled from this machine yet. We could probably get a decent cappuccino from this already, so let's try it out. Yeah, so far we're looking at the best cappuccino we've made with this machine just by replacing the portafilter. Of course, we'll do a quick puck inspection. Let's see what we got. A little wet up top, and it broke the first time it hit my hand, but that was because I was using my hand. But the puck is looking, yeah, miles better than anything we were pulling out of it before. Very good. We have work to do, but good. Washing is very simple on this because it's just a basket with holes in it, so clean it up. Ready for the next one. Of course, the screen as well, and I use the sprayer to get through the holes of the screen. Of course, I like to repeat everything twice to make sure there's not an outlier, except for this distribution tool that I've adjusted to be deeper, so it functions in the actual mixture of coffee grounds. I still wanted to test to see if it would work with the funnel on. That was just me. I know I still have funnel issues, as we see, but using this tool on the new setting without the funnel should allow for a better distribution of grounds that we did not see in the last test. I've also made some adjustments to the tamper as well. Sits just a bit deeper than last time. So we'll give everything here a last cleaning. Drop in our screen. And this time our recording emphasis will be on the pressure gauge. We could also see that the coffee is being blocked by the handle, so I'm going to speed through this. Coffee converged into a single stream this time, wasn't spraying everywhere, and the pressure gauge stayed at 12 o'clock. That point, nice, single stream. From the perspective of the cup, everything looked the same, except there were no high pressure alarms, and when the coffee came out of the spout, it was one stream that converged, didn't have any areas that found a place through the coffee to spray because of any high pressure issues. I'm betting this machine doesn't produce 20 bars of pressure, but I'm also thankful this machine doesn't produce 20 bars of pressure. Again, we'll have a look at the puck. Yeah, that thing is still steaming. Things are looking good. I think I just need to dial it back a little bit on the grounds, and we're going to be good. So let me do that. Let me do a couple of runs, and then I'll come back. So in the end, two things needed change. And number one, I machined this funnel to fit the portafilter. I ended up buying the wrong funnel, so I had to fix it. But we could see after I finished, it locks on perfectly like it was made for it. There's no seam between the funnel and the portafilter. Looking from the side, it's a perfect fit, contoured with the locking mechanism. I will find the correct funnel and post a link below. Also, I found on this machine the ideal amount of coffee grinds is between 16.5 and 17 grams. I'm using 17 grams, seems to work just fine for a stronger espresso. No more than 17 though. I use the needles to break up clumps like before, and then spin it with the distribution side of my tamper. I remove the funnel and we see it made a good seal. Nothing is on the rim. So now I tamp it down. Give it a clean. And drop in the screen. This time I'll do that requisite camera shot from under the coffee machine. Do the best that I can here. Locked in and ready to go. And the brew times for these machines are never going to be right as compared to like a couple $1,000 machine. But I think this is going to be about as good as it gets for a $150 machine. It converged quickly towards the middle. That's a good sign. Looking under, I don't see water sneaking through and spraying through other areas in the metal mesh. So the distribution is even now at 17 grams. And it's looking good for what it is. The useless pressure gauge is at 12 o'clock, but that's just there for fun, so if we could actually adjust the pressure of this machine, we could probably do a lot more with it, but I'm not going to be getting into all that. I think it's come quite far from where we started, with just a few upgrades, a little bit of work and experimentation, and a little bit of dialing in. Okay, let's have a look at the final product. With these add-ons and these parameters, I would challenge you to do a blind test with the machine at 3 or 4 times the cost. Provided those machines are using pressurized filter, of course. If they're upgraded, they would probably exceed this machine. And our puck. Look at that. We've come a long way from swamp puck in the first video to wet puck at the beginning of the second video. Look at this. Absolutely perfect. For this machine, you can't improve upon that. And that concludes this video on upgrades that you can do to turn your Gevi 20 into a decent espresso cappuccino machine. It just takes a little bit of work and spending a little bit of money on parts to get you there. The best thing you could do is get rid of that provided Tamper spoon combo, which is garbage, and upgrade to a non-pressurized portafilter. Everything else is just there to help with consistency. Because once you get it right, repeatability is important. I hope you found this video enjoyable, entertaining, and informative. Do me a favor, hit that like button down below, helps me out a lot when you do, and hit that subscribe button for more videos like this when they come out. If another video comes out in the series, a link will be posted in the top right corner. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.